Hi guys, this is a change of scenery. I actually found that I can get better lighting if I just put my camera in front of my dining room window. I wanted to talk about just life. I know I made a video last week talking about how I almost killed myself. Um, let's just say things have not exactly improved from that point. I almost ended up back into the hospital, actually, like this past Thursday. So I decided to do something very drastic, something that should help me out quite a bit, and that is to actually take a trip to visit some family. And I'm actually going to be visiting someone that I've never met in person. Um, he's actually my father, and he's extremely accepting about me being transgender. He treats me authentically, and that's exactly what I need right now. Um, I suffer a lot of depression lately, as well as suicidal thoughts, and I feel that if I were to just kind of take myself out of the current living situation that I'm in, I think it's going to improve my overall mood, and it's going to actually boost my confidence, and it's going to boost my self worth. So it's really something that I think will help me out tremendously. So I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go to Georgia, and it's going to be a very emotional ride, I have to say, because I've known of my father's existence for a while. I just recently, this past year, started talking to him, and he's been wonderful. And I actually have siblings that I never even knew existed, and they like me. So it's going to be very interesting seeing, the other half of my family. The half that I've always grew up wondering who they were, what they are, what they did, why they're not in my life. And those questions have been answered over the phone over the past year. But I'm going to be able to actually see my father in the flesh. And this is something that I have like chills up and down my spine. And I actually get quite emotional when I think a lot about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to be spending 2 weeks in Georgia. But one of the cool things, and this is something that I just figured out in the past hour, when I was talking to one of my family members who I used to see regularly, they used to live in New Jersey, and I used to see them like at least once a month, at the very least. And they actually housed me when I lost my place with my ex. So there was a few videos that he had seen where I was in some little kid's room that was my cousin's room, and I'm actually going to be able to see them while I'm in Georgia. They're actually willing to help me get transportation, which is about a 5 hour distance, but from Georgia to Florida, where they live now. And I haven't seen them in about a year and a month. I mean, it's been a full year since I've seen someone that I grew up with. So it's going to be awesome to see them. And I think it's also going to be odd for them because they haven't seen me in a year. And look, I look different. I mean, you can see my face. um, I look vastly different than I did the last time they actually saw me in person. So it's going to be very interesting to see how their reaction is. Because they knew me my whole life, them seeing me now would be interesting. But if they start calling me my old name and they start referring to me as a he, I'm going to just hop on a bus and leave. Um, because at the end of the day, I can't subject myself to that. It's very damaging, and it makes me feel like shit. But another thing that's been very crazy lately is before before I was gonna go on this grand trip, I've been suffering from some medical issues, um, and I've been putting them off for a very long time. And one of them is my breathing, and it's hard to explain, but I for a while have been feeling like I need extra effort to breathe. Like my chest feels hard, like it feels like a workout sometimes of actually breathing. The other thing is I noticed I was having this whistling sound coming from my throat. I think it was just like whenever I was exhaling, it was just like this very high pitched whistle sound. And you know, the thing is, after I explained this to the doctor, he had asked me at one point. He says, "So, do you ever like try to exercise?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what happens?" And I said, "Usually I run out of breath pretty quickly, and you know, I start coughing." And you know, he's like, "Well, that's the classic, classic case of asthma." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he prescribed me an inhaler, which I've never used before in my life. Um, so it was kind of weird the first time I used this thing. And this is like, if you need to know, it's Venolin. It's like like this is like the de facto, like every asthmatic person has one of these. But like when I first used it, and then it takes about 5 to 15 minutes for it to start really taking effect. When I was breathing, I was actually laughing my ass off because I've never felt that feeling before. Like I guess I didn't realize how bad my breathing was because there was inflammation, chronic inflammation in my lungs. So when I started breathing, I was like, this is amazing. This is the most fantastic feeling in the world. And then after 3.5 hours, that feeling went away. And then I started coughing. And then I started having that problem again where I was just like, what the fuck? Now it's hard for me to breathe again. So, you know, go and use it again. You know, 5, 10 minutes later, I could breathe again. Wow, this is fantastic. This is awesome. Like, I was like, this is cool. So I go to bed. I wake up at 3 in the morning. I can't breathe. I'm coughing again. So I use it again. So I started to get worried because I don't know much about medical stuff, but it doesn't sound like this is really doing much for me. It's actually, I kind of, I guess it puts things into perspective because, again, I didn't realize how bad my breathing was prior. But it kind of, I felt like this was actually having adverse effects for me. I felt like, oh shit, when it wears off, I feel worse than I did. Sorry for the cut, but actually someone called my phone right when I was recording, so it's actually nighttime. About 8 hours has actually passed since I started this recording. So back to what I was saying, it felt like the inhaler was actually doing worse for me. As I said, adverse effects. It didn't really make sense to me. So my roommate even said, she's like, well, what's the point of having a respirator, or not a respirator, inhaler, if you're going to need it every 4 hours? That's not the point of one of these devices. So at night, I started doing research, started looking into the issue, because again, I really didn't have much time to look at the problem and see what options there are. So one of the things I discovered was that for an emergency rescue inhaler, you should not need it any more than 2 times in an entire week. If you're using it more than that, that means your asthma is not controlled. So I went to an urgent care center, being that I'm going to be going to Georgia tomorrow. And I asked them, I told them the whole story, explained how I was diagnosed, I explained that they put me on this. And they said, okay, so what we need to do is put you on a corticosteroid and also put you on a labia. So labia is long-acting, like, because this is a SABA, so LABA. I said labia. I don't know why I said labia. So, so what happened is they prescribed me Symbicort, which I have here. And you can see Symbicort is, it's kind of cool. It has this like nice gauge on the top, which you really can't see. But it's the same thing. You just pull it, press it, and breathe it in. You have to rinse your mouth out afterwards, or you end up with some sort of fungal thing in your mouth. So in order to get this, because I have insurance, and for the most part, everything is 100% covered. So instead of spending $68 from one of these, it cost me nothing. And all of my medications, which I have plenty of them, but they actually prescribed me, is it this one? No, it was this one. So they prescribed me prednisone, I don't know, it's these little like steroid things. I really don't want to show you guys the labels, but this is an oral steroid, and this is an inhalable steroid, as well as also, that's why it has 2 digits, the 160 by 4.5. So each one of those is just the milligrams or the dosage of each of the medicines, because this is 2 medicines in one. So, they prescribed me all the medication, and it was those 2 things. And I go to Walgreens to get my prescription filled, like I always do. And I never have a problem, but this time I am told that my Symbicort is not covered unless it has been requested by my primary care doctor, which I'm not going to be able to see him until after I get back from Georgia. So, mind you, at this point, I'm using my friggin' inhaler every like 3 to 4 hours. And, I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. This is stupid. So, I tell the pharmacist, look, we need to figure out something. I can't go to Georgia without some sort of solution. So she fills the prescription for the oral steroid. Now, the oral steroid, I was told, only use it if the Symbicort isn't working. That was what the whole point was. So the prescription really wasn't for much. It was just, again, kind of as a let's get you by. So when you come back to Las Vegas, you can go see a doctor and the doctor will take care of you. So the pharmacist just hands me that prescription, and I tell her, I'm like, well, that's not supposed to be the primary thing. You're supposed to give me something else. So at this point, I'm very frustrated because, again, I'm going to end up, like I even did the math, at the rate that I was using my rescue inhaler, I would have ran out of that thing like next week. Like it's supposed to last me a whole month, if not more. But at the current rate, I was just using it way too often. So I go back to the urgent care, and the urgent care people in the front desk, they go, oh, you're going to have to sign in and you're going to have to wait. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I've already waited. You guys have an issue that you haven't resolved yet. So that's why I'm here. I shouldn't have to come back here, but we need to figure out some sort of plan. Explain to me why I'm only getting one medication that was originally supposed to be just a fail-safe. So she's like, fine, I'll talk to somebody. So 10 minutes later, I get to talk back to my doctor. I go like, okay, this is what's going on. What do I do? So she prescribes me another medication. And this one is called, and it's probably hard to see, but it's monosuccinylidine. I don't even know how to friggin' pronounce it. So this is essentially like a souped up Benadryl. Like it's like Benadryl on steroids. Steroids. So basically, she gave me a month's supply of this, and this was supposed to kind of be in place of the Symbicort. And yeah, so I was like, okay, is it gonna work as effectively? She's like, it should help you. She's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not as good as Symbicort. She's like, Symbicort is pretty powerful and it usually kicks in within a day or two, so it will control my asthma symptoms. Okay, so I go to get that filled, and I'm like, something's up. Why is it that I can't get this Symbicort? If it's supposed to be what's best for me, I want it, and I don't want to pay $330 fucking dollars for it. So I go on AstraZeneca's website, and they happen to have a coupon. And the coupon is for your very first month's supply for free. There is no mail-in rebate. There's no it's really straightforward. You just literally take this to the pharmacist and they'll just give it to you for free. So I did it and it worked. So I was able to get my Symbicort, and I was just like, yes, this is awesome that I'm able to get it. I was like so worried I wasn't going to be able to get it. And as you can see, like if you look at the dial, I've already used it. I've already used 3 doses of this. And I'm starting to notice that now I'm no longer needing my rescue inhaler anymore. Like I used my rescue inhaler twice today. That's it. So I went from using it every 3.5, 4 hours to I've only used it twice, and it's already nighttime and I'm already going to start going to bed. So It took, again, 3 doses for this to start to really kick in. It's not foolproof yet, but I'm sure by probably mid this week, because today's Sunday, I'm pretty sure by Wednesday, everything should be fine. I should not have to go for my rescue inhaler unless I'm going to exercise, or if I'm going to stress myself out and really, do something, or if I'm subjected to any allergens that kind of flare up the asthma. So the moral of the story, and I know this has gone on long enough, is I'm going to Georgia. I'm hoping that it's going to help me. It's something that I have not been myself. I've been very suicidal, and actually, during the in-between time when this video cut off and when the video resumed, I actually broke down again, started crying, hating my life. I wrote something on Tumblr about wanting to kill myself, and someone called the police again. So luckily, again, I am not in a mental hospital, which was concerning me, but the trigger has been the same, and I really need to be surrounded by people who are accepting of who I am, people who respect me. I know if the people who caused me to feel suicidal again are watching this video, I'm not calling you guys out, but look, I need to survive. I can't continue living this way and potentially killing myself. I can't continue this route. So I'm doing something for me for once, and it's gonna feel great. I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited to meet my father for the very first time, and I'm definitely gonna make a video, talking about it. Maybe I can convince him to let me shoot video of him so you guys can see what he looks like. But yeah, so it's been a very interesting week. It started out with, honestly, I was depressed every single day. I was suicidal every single day. It started off that way, and I think it ended off with hopefulness that everything's going to get better. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, or you guys want to talk about anything, or you want to shoot me a message, or if you're an expert on asthma, help me out. I'm gonna edit this video, I'm gonna upload it, and I will shoot video when I land in Georgia, and I will upload that. So take care, guys. Wish me luck. I really think things are gonna be great.